Morning, good morning. Hope everyone's having an amazing Wednesday morning. Welcome to Millionaire Brand Creation, and this one's going to be interesting because about a year ago, Brian took a few of his top people to the 10x 360 with Brandon Dawson, Buck Wise, and a lot of their top people in the Cardone Ventures arena. And, when we went through this, we took a lot of copious notes, and a lot of this stuff, obviously, Grant talks about. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through the pamphlet briefly. We're going to talk in some high level ways. This can help you build your brand and grow your business. And then if you guys have questions or, comments or anything like that, feel free to put them in the comment section, and I'll be answering them live. So we'll just talk for about an hour. And then if you guys have specific questions, put them in there and I'll answer them directly. But one of Brandon Dawson's main quotes that I think will assist you guys in your business development is this: what you think is what you say is what you do, and what you do becomes your legacy. Think about that for a second, right? What you think is what you say is what you do becomes your legacy. How do you create your personal brand? How do you create your business? How do you create your life in something that is transformational, not just for yourself, but for the people that you touch? So what I'd like you to do, and what they made us do day one, is there's a couple different visionary boards that you want to start off in. So today is, this is 2022, obviously, January of 2022. You're right in the beginning of the year. I want you to write down 4 different quadrants. So if you can have, your 2022, or you should probably start with 2021, right? How was 2021? And the 4 quadrants are revenue, number of employees, or in your case, if you're a real estate agent, how many agents do you have on your team or your downline? What are the profits that you've made last year? And then what are your earnings, right? What have you made in commissions, etc.? So I'll say those 4 quadrants again. Revenue, number of employees, how many people you have in your team or on your rev share, what have you made as far as profits, etc., and then what are your earnings after taxes as of last year, 2021? And the reason you should be thinking about this, if you haven't already, is because obviously tax season's coming up April 15th. So think about putting all these numbers together, right? Now for 2022, what he made us do is, what are your plan goals, right? What are your plan goals for revenue in 2022? What are your plan goals for your number of employees or number of partners or number of rev share agents and growing your team, right? What are the profits you're hoping to attain in 2022? And then lastly, what are your after-tax earnings you're hoping to create for this year? So take 20 seconds or so, bring out your little sheet of paper if you can, and write those down. Again, revenue, number of employees and or agents on your team, profits, and then owner earnings after that. So take 15 seconds and write that down. Now that you've written that down, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not confident, 5 being somewhat confident, and 10 being extremely confident, rank your belief level that you think you're prepared to exceed these goals that you wrote down, right? How confident are you in your ability to either meet these goals and or exceed those for 2022? Now, in doing so, there are 3 lids that you might want to talk about as far as your belief system and 10xing your business and 10xing your life, basically. And the 3 lids that Brandon and his team taught us were the belief lid, the effectiveness lid, and the leadership lid. And so when you talk about lids, the question you have to ask yourselves are, how do you move your business beyond where it is currently to where you want it to be, right? How do you inspire others to help you achieve your business goals? It's very difficult to do. It's not easy in this arena. And the process begins with you amplifying and elevating your level of thinking, right? Creating ambitious goals and high-level expectations in achieving them. Raising the belief lid alone can help raise the bar for what's possible in your business, but attention to the three lids in detail will create transformational growth in your personal life and as well as boost performance for not only you, but all the people in your organization, which is we're trying to do, right? Yeah, Tiffany, big audacious goals, exactly. But we want to make sure that you hit them, and we want to make sure that you exceed them. So we'll talk about the first lid, which is the belief lid. The belief lid is belief is a powerful source of energy, right? It's belief, not perseverance, that truly drives innovation. The extent of your level of overall belief is called your belief lid. The degree to which you believe something is possible, right? I believe I will make $1 million this year. To what extent do you think that's possible, right? Or whatever it is that your goals are. The effectiveness lid, which is number 2, is the operational effectiveness that can be measured by assessing your behaviors compared to top mentors and their most impactful contributions in your area of desired expertise. So creating a duplicatable process from those best practices will aid in your overall impact, thus elevating your operational effectiveness lid. So the question I have for you guys is, when you are your team leader, when you're doing well in your sales business or beyond, how many of you are creating a duplicatable system that are helping your agents across the board? Anyone want to make a comment in that respect? Or is it difficult? What are you seeing? Good morning, Brennan. Well, I'll let you guys use the comment thing, but the key is the true definition of success is you do it for yourself, right? But you can also duplicate it for other people. That transitions us into the third lid, which is the leadership lid. And the difference between what's the difference between a boss and a leader, right? A boss dictates while a leader influences. So you want to be a leader, you don't want to be a boss. And when it comes to achieving transformational growth for yourself, everything rises and falls on your ability to influence others. So think about that. The three lids, the belief lid, the effectiveness lid, and the leadership lid. That's what we learned about in day 1 of 10X 360. Next, we'll talk about the maturity focuses of different people. So to really create a scalable business, whether you're in the real estate business or anything pertaining to business in general, there are 4 areas of operation that we learned at the 10X 360. There's people development and alignment. There's expansion and operation planning. There's financial modeling and reporting. And there's sales and marketing execution. So of all you guys listening in, how many are really good at sales and marketing execution? Put your comment in there. How many of you are good at marketing or need help with marketing? Tiffany says yes. Brennan, are you good at marketing? Or do you want help with marketing? The reason I ask these questions is it kind of helps me focus on creating these different platforms for your business and making sure you can go to the next level. Not good. Okay, well, the first thing is you have to get out there. Brennan has been on all of these, as well as Lisa and a few others. And wash hands. Yeah, exactly. So need help. Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that, Savannah. So the key is in marketing, Tiffany, good. I'm glad you like that. So the key is I need help with everything. Well, we all do. So thanks for commenting. But the truth is this. We want to create the base framework for you guys to truly grow your business, right? And the way to create marketing success is by leveraging your ability to help other people and do things with other people. Lisa has been a part of this and she can attest to this, but one of the things that we started on January 1st was making everyone basically attainable and I'm trying to think of the word. And basically needing to post every single day in regards to their fitness routine, right? So their fitness routine, the only way we figured out for people to continually do that is we tagged everyone in a story every single day and we reshared it. So again, to grow your guys' marketing and to grow your guys' footprint is I want you to start reaching out and talking to other people on this feed, doing cross promotionalization, right? When you start blowing up your social media platforms, whether it be your Instagram, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, I want you to use other people to help expand your business, right? We can't do this as solo entrepreneurs, which we'll talk about later in this feed. We have to do this as a collective, right? I want to help Lisa grow. I want to help Brennan grow. I want to help Tiffany grow. And in return, they're helping me grow because I'm posting a lot of their content and stuff like that, right? So that's the key to the game. Now, there are 4 different types of preneur quadrants, so to speak, and they talked about this in 10x 360. The preneur quadrant is a tool used to help individuals define their version of success. So I think this is important for you guys to gather. While no one of these quadrants are better than another, a person might opt to follow a path through 2, 3, or even all 4 of these quadrants, right? It all depends on what the person's personal, professional, and financial goals are. So the first preneur quadrant is the intrapreneur. intrapreneurs. Intrapreneur. What's an intrapreneur? An intrapreneur is someone who is desired to excel as a top performing contributor or leader within an already existing company, right? EXP is a great example of that. You know, Brian, myself, many of you guys, Lisa, Brennan, we're all intrapreneurs in this EXP universe, right? You are an intrapreneur on your downline. You're an intrapreneur of your team, etc. But intrapreneurs are different than any other preneur in one key way. They prefer to excel within an already existing structure, right? So if your whole goal as an agent is to just buy and sell homes and or grow your downline, that is an existing structure, right? You're not doing anything outside of that. You're doing it as an intrapreneur. Their vision is not necessarily to create something new, but rather to improve and optimize an organization they are already committed to. As an entrepreneur, you want to achieve your goals in a personal, professional, and financial way by adding as much value to that company as possible, right? Those are 2 ways to do it. Buy and sell more houses, grow your downline, and that translates to obviously a stronger stock price, etc. Now, you've all heard this next term, which is solopreneur. How many have heard the term solopreneur? Pop in your comments. Solopreneur. So a solopreneur is an individual who builds and runs a business based on their personal brand and abilities. Many agents are solopreneurs. Where an intrapreneur works for a business, an entrepreneur builds a business, the solopreneur is the business, right? You are your own business as a real estate agent. And that's why solopreneurs have the least ability to create significant wealth because you are on an island, right? You are your own marketing team, you are your own financial team, you are your own business team, etc. That doesn't work up to a certain point, right? You're capped, you have a lid, and that's why you need other people to create value for you as well. So solopreneurs don't necessarily all want to become entrepreneurs because they don't envision building a business with employees, right? When you have employees, when you have partners, when you have other people you rely on, now you are an entrepreneur. You are gathering people to assist you in a skill. And the truth is, when you look at strategic income sources, right? If you go from, let's say, $50,000 to $100,000 to $500,000, once you get over a $500,000 mark a year in income, it's very difficult to be a solopreneur. You have to get more people into your system to add to the gasoline in the fire, right? So, for many solopreneurs, being able to set their own priorities, to work where they want, how they want, and defining success in their own terms is their highest goal. But if you want to go to the next level, which is an entrepreneur, I suggest you do that because you're going to make more money as an entrepreneur because you're creating a larger value proposition for your clients, for your agents, and you're working as a collective, right? That's why we do these tutorials. That's why people pay big money for this 10x 360 stuff, is because we realize there's power in collaboration. And to answer your question, Joe, this is recorded, so you can go back to it. An entrepreneur is someone who builds a business around their passion, creating value for others and scaling it to create maximum impact, right? That's what Glenn Sanford did with EXP. He built this whole idea around scaling a business around other people. Entrepreneurs organize, they manage, they assume risk, and it's far more difficult to be a successful entrepreneur, as I'm sure you all would agree, because successful entrepreneurs know their markets inside and out, and they leverage that knowledge to create new opportunities and financial gain for themselves, their partners, and their employees. And entrepreneurs start with a vision and like a better way to perform a certain task or product idea that they wish existed and turn it into an organized, optimized, repeatable system. Rather than simply selling themselves and their skills, they build a system around their skills and they add people to the fire, right? That's the key to the game. And once you become a successful entrepreneur, then the next level, which is the level a lot of us want to be at, and in some ways some of us are, is called an investropreneur. Now, what is an investropreneur? An investropreneur is an individual who focuses on the value and results of their invested capital and treats their investments like a business. So like for me, I own a lot of rental properties. Maybe you do the same, right? Passive income, right? What are you doing to create passive income in your sleep? That is an investropreneur. Someone that wakes up every day and makes money based on things that they set in place in the past, right? And I think that's what we all want to become, is more entrepreneurial and investorpreneurial. So we're not just trading time for money like many of us do as salespeople and or people in the sales space. We want to kick ass in sales, but we want to turn that earned income into passive income as quickly as possible and focus on growing that monthly drip over and over and over until you really don't have to work anymore, right? An investorpreneur applies the skills and the characteristics of an entrepreneur to their financial investments, but rather than building and scaling up a business, they use their financial resources as a source of ongoing passive income, as I said before. A great example of this is Robert Kiyosaki, right? Author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The philosophy of the rich and the poor is this: the rich invest their money and spend what is left. The poor spend their money and invest what is left. I'll say that again. The rich invest their money and spend what is left. The poor spend all of their money and invest what is left. That's the contradiction I want you to understand. When you guys make a big commission check, invest as much as you can in growing your business and growing your passive income, and don't spend the money. I mean, for instance, I made over 6 figures last month by a couple big commissions. What did I do with the money? I didn't spend it. I invested all of it and spent maybe $2,000 on a new suit or something like that. But that's the mindset I want you guys to really look at and to garner as you're growing your business, right? Here are 3 points of reflection: the people, the competition, and the market. Number 1, to be really good in business, you have to understand the people, right? Understanding how your people are currently performing, as well as their higher rate of performance, would impact their business, right? Are the people you're associating with yourself with, are they high performers, or are they not performing the way that you need them to, right? Jason Mitchell had a great point. Suzanne Fuqua brought up this in the clubhouse this morning in regards to some of her agents that aren't performing the way that she wants them, right? They call them crybabies, etc. And Jason said, well, Maybe cut bait, because the truth is, when you're at a certain level, when you're really performing at the highest level possible, you want other people that are performing at your level, right? Jason Mitchell was on Closers Club this morning, and I think it's recorded, right, Matt? Yeah, so people can go and take a look at that. But there are some really good nuggets on the psychology of sales and the psychology of growing your business. 3 points of reflection. The first is your people. The second is competition. What Jason Mitchell said is number two. He says he doesn't look at people as competition. And the reason being is we want everyone to succeed. That's my mentality as well, is because there's plenty of business to go around. But the more wealth that is created through our hard work and through duplicating and helping people through the process, the better this planet will be overall, right? And the third is the market. The perspective of your ability to deeply penetrate a specific market based on opportunity. You know, we have agents that come in here. Joe, where are you coming in from, my friend? Tiffany, where are you coming in from? You know, we have different agents coming in here from all over the United States and beyond. And there is a certain niche, a certain opportunity, a certain dynamic within your specific space in your state that no one yet has touched. And when you get to that niche, when you get to that point of, whoa, this is going to be really unique and helpful to my business, that's where the business starts to take off, right? So if you guys have any questions, California, where are you in California, Savannah? Orange County, great. So that's a real saturated market, right? When you're in those Southern California states, you're in a high tax state, right? You're in a state where there's probably a lot of real estate agents competing for the same number of listings. And so how do you differentiate yourself, right? How do you create something that's different than everyone else? That's the hardest part. Orange County, yeah. Well, I spent a lot of time in Orange County. You know, Tarek's in Orange County. Heather Ray Young's in Orange County. And the truth is, Orange County is a hugely, hugely wealthy market. And the question I have for you, Savannah and Joe, what parts of Orange County are you guys working specifically? Where are a lot of your listings? I'm curious. This is always exciting to me to hear what the listeners have to say. But where are you in Orange County, Joe? Like, what are you hitting? Anaheim, Orange, Long Beach. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of different subsectors of Orange County, for example, with extreme wealth. And so if you look at Orange County, we'll take this as a specific example. Who are the top producers in Orange County, right? There's only probably a few that are really doing kick-ass business. They're either doing volume plays or they're doing high-priced real estate plays. And for me, I'd rather do less work and be in a higher-end luxury environment, because you're going to do the same amount of work either way, but why not get a higher commission less times and create the same amount of income or more? So the best areas to do business, and what I would suggest, Joe, Savannah, everyone in the Orange County market, is spend a lot of time in Corona Del Mar, right? Spend a lot of time in, spend a lot of time in some of these real high-end areas. Montage, what else? Newport Coast, you know, the Ritz-Carlton down there south. Like, there's a lot of money on the coast. And so what I would be doing is I'd be having coffee, I'd be spending time, lunches, dinners, open houses, things of that nature in those real high-end areas, and start accumulating business and contacts in those areas, right? Long Beach, Orange, Anaheim, there's a lot, Irvine, there's a lot of money in those areas, but in those specific areas, there's a hell of a lot more that you guys can penetrate by spending time and growing contacts in there. So hopefully that helps. I would spend time around wealth as much as possible, because I think that will influence your business in a positive way. And here's another quote from Brandon Dawson. Businesses don't move people, people move businesses, right? So in order to grow your income, in order to grow your opportunities, you need to consistently move yourself physically closer to wealth. You know, if you're in a situation where the average home isn't where you want to be, You have to physically put your seat in a situation of wealth, right? That's how you create wealth. Money attracts money, wealth attracts wealth. Opportunity is curated and created by being around exceedingly wealthy people. So, now we'll talk about scale versus scaling. To scale means maximizing an existing platform, system, or process within a company's infrastructure, right? So a lot of people within EXP, which Joe, Tiffany, a lot of you guys are, Lisa, Brennan, you want to scale within the EXP structure, right? How do you do that? Really, there's, in my mind, three ways. And I'd write these down because this is how I feel I want to scale in doing this. You specialize in new home construction. Oh, that's very cool. Oh, thanks for listening in, Tiffany. But there's three ways within the EXP construct you guys need to be focusing on making money, right? The first is I'd be doing less deals a year, but moving up your price point as much as you possibly can in each deal, right? And so that way you cap your 16,000 a lot earlier and on in the year, maybe January, February, March, and the rest of the year, you're not doing as many deals, but you're doing higher price deals, right? Maybe your deal flow is in the $300,000-$400,000 range. Let's try to pop that up to $500,000-$600,000 range. So you cap earlier and make more money in commissions, right? The second thing that you're going to be doing is obviously adding to your rev share. How do you do that? How do you attract? The best way to attract is C, number one, right? Have higher quality listings, have multi-million-dollar eventual listings that agents are going to say, wow, Tiffany, Joe, you guys are really doing well. How do I become you, right? It's a follow the leader mentality. That'll grow your rev share and it will grow your downline. And leverage Elena, Tiffany. Leverage Tarek, Joe, which I'm sure you guys already do, and utilize that to grow that second area of revenue. The third, obviously, is the stock. And right now, if you're growing number one, right, and you're buying 5% discounted or 10% discounted stock of 5% of your commission after every close, as the stock is lower in my mind than what it should be at the moment, you're going to be accumulating more and more and more and more shares. And hopefully, once you get enough shares, when the stock comes back, which we're all very confident it will, and once it grows and exceeds as our agent growth grows, there's going to be a lot of money in the stock. There's going to be a lot of money in your rev share. But more importantly, there's going to be more money in your bread and butter in your sales business of what you're doing, right? So that's scale. Scaling, right? What does scaling mean? Scaling is innovating existing platforms, system, and processes to maximize new growth opportunities. The company is driving consistent growth and increasing its margins over time. 80% of your time is dedicated to replicating the optimal business model, while 20% of your time is spent managing it. Right? What's the business model? There's only three things you should be focused on if you're with EXP. Buy and sell more houses, or buy and sell houses at a higher price point so you cap quicker. Two, grow your rev share. How do you grow your rev share? See number one. And number three, when the stock dips as it has the last 2 or 3 months, accumulate as much and as many shares as you possibly can to grow your wealth over time. Those would be my scaling things, right? And of these business categories, there are 5 things that you can do to scale. The first is build. Build strategic and intentional business models, right? How do you do that? You do that by doing what I said in number one. Put yourself in that environment with wealth. Put yourself in an environment where you're going out and meeting people. Put yourself in an environment where you're incrementally growing every single minute of every single day, and you're tracking your wealth if you've looked at our past things. And hopefully that's taking you at a higher and higher precipice every single day, every single month, every single year. And if you're tracking your success, you're able to see that success grow over time. The second thing is optimize. Developing a strong and thriving business. That's only done by optimizing your business practices. The fourth is expand. Growing and influencing local and regional markets. The only way you're going to do that is by seeing number one, right? Growing and expanding your sales business by increasing your price points so you become $1 million plus producer. And you're attracting top talent that wants to sell in those price points. And last but not least, transform. Dominating multiple markets to build a network enterprise. That's what Cardone and people have done in their businesses. So does anyone have any questions before I continue? Because I know I'm just like fire hosing all this information at you at once. Did Tiffany, Joe, you guys have any questions that I can help answer for you with all the content that we're producing, or you want me to keep going? Well, while I wait, I'll talk about the three things that the Cardones really harp on as far as how did they grow their business, right? How in 10 years did Grant go from being worth $6 million to being worth over $1 billion? And it's because of three things. So I'd write these down if you guys have your notes. The first is promote. Some of you said, oh, I'm not good at marketing, etc. If you have an idea, if you have a picture, if you have a video, if you have something that pops in your brain that you're like, this is actually something interesting to me that I think other people would like as well, promote it, get it out there, throw it on as many different mediums as possible. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, throw it out there so people can see that your thought process is in growth mode, right? So promote. That's what Grant did for 10 years, and look at him now. The second thing, which is important to your business model, is profit, right? Make money by doing less more effectively at higher price points. I'll say that again. Make money by doing less, by working more effectively at higher price points. So it's the same amount of work, I'm sure you all would agree, selling a $300,000 house in Florida as it is selling a $3 million house in Florida. But the commission checks, the people that you're working with, the whole process is totally different. And the same goes in Orange County, right? In fact, I would almost argue it's easier once you get in higher price points because you're dealing with business-minded people that understand how to conduct business, right? And the third is people. Multiply through people. That's the only way you're going to grow your guys' businesses. You cannot grow being a solopreneur. You grow through collaborating, through adding people, through growing your business with different teammates that get you to the next level. So that's the 3 P's that Grant and Brandon harp on all the time. Promote, profit, people. Promote, profit, people. Those are the 3 things you guys want to be thinking about as you move the needle for your business. The next 3 things that I think will certainly assist you in your business model. Oh, let's see here. Joe, I feel like a lot of new agents need that credibility, confidence before they start working the high-end clients. Are there any suggestions on building confidence in yourself to deal with these clients? That's a very good question, Joe. And I think a couple of agents have asked me the same questions over the last couple months. And the best way to do that is to make yourself feel confident in high-end environments, right? Savannah, yeah, it is a great question. So the best way to make yourself feel confident in those high-end environments, if you're just starting out and you're just creating your business model, is like I said, figure out where the most expensive places are in your marketplace, whether it be Florida, Orange County, wherever it is, right? And I want you to put yourself in that environment. Just put yourself there. Go into a 5-star hotel and buy a cup of coffee. Read the paper in the lobby, right? Have a glass of iced tea. See how the rich live. Go to car dealerships. Talk to people. Learn about high-end cars. Go into, luxury areas. If you're in Newport Beach, go into Fashion Island and learn about watches, learn about jewelry, learn about high-end clothing, and just put yourself in that environment. You don't have to spend a dime. But what I want you to do is start learning about the things and the lifestyle that wealthy people live, right? So you can talk to them, right? You can just interact. You understand how they dress, how they talk, how they walk, where they eat, why they eat there. And it makes you more confident in that environment, right? Because the more you are confident in those higher end environments, the more commonality you have with people at the higher end, component and listings, etc. And the second thing I would do is I would start attending as an agent very expensive and high end open houses. Once in a blue moon, they'll have 5, 6, 7, $8 million houses, in Florida, in Orange County, that's open to the public on Sundays, on Saturdays. I know they do it in Corona del Mar all the time. And I would literally have a cup of coffee at a very expensive place, Montage, something like that. If you're in Orange County, maybe Pelican Hill, spend $5, $6 on a cup of coffee, spend an hour there, and then when you're not doing your own open houses, go to the open houses of other agents and start seeing those 4, 5, 6, $7 million homes, seeing the finish work, seeing how the agents comport themselves. What do they wear? What are they driving? How do they speak? Take notes and go back to your house and start basically just assessing all of that into your soul, right? Where you're like, this person is not special. In 6 months to a year, I can become this person. And you become this person by putting yourself in that environment. So hopefully that helps answer the question, Joe, Savannah. But that's how I would do it. And that's how I recommend young agents do it as well, is put yourself in that environment. Because once you're in that environment, every week, every 2 weeks, you become confident in it and it becomes part of your DNA. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, hopefully that helps. The next thing I think is really important to your business is understanding flow, conversion, and retention. Okay? In order to be good in the real estate business, thanks guys. I'm glad this helps because this is how I would do my business if I started all over again. But it's flow, conversion, and retention, right? How do you get more flow? How do you get more luxury leads? How do you get better clients, right? That's flow. That's your lead gen. And flow are tactics, programs, and initiatives that are being executed to generate maximum potential customer flow into your business. So how are you doing that? Are you posting every day on social media? Are you putting yourself in high-end areas, taking photos and videos of yourself at the most expensive places in the luxury markets that you want to break into? Are you tagging yourself in those things? Are you meeting people at events? Are you putting yourself out there? Are you being robust in your ability to throw out content as much as possible, right? Or are you just posting one story or one post every 3 or 4 weeks? It's not going to cut it. You need to have a deluge of opportunity where people see your name, they see your brand, they see what you want to become, even if you're not there yet, and you're adding to that story and hopefully adding a potential client or customer. The next thing, which is most important, is how do you take that flow and convert it, right? It's conversion. How intentional and focused is your business at its operations in order to ensure potential customer becomes a conversion, right? Or becomes a sale. So when you meet someone at a nice place or you meet someone at an event, how are you creating that opportunity to convert them into a friend, a client, a partner, an agent, an outside opportunity that leads to the other three? That's what I always say. And last but not least, it's retention. After you conduct a sale, how do you retain a client or an agent or anyone that you come in contact with and make sure that they're part of your inner circle? What efforts are in place to ensure that the customer then becomes a repeat customer and or friend for life? Those are some of the questions I would start asking yourself. Now, in doing so, how do you create flow? How do you create conversion? And how do you create retention? Well, here are some ways to create flow. Brand management. How are you guys doing print ads, signage, customer retention strategies, blogging, article contributions, social media execution? Are you doing grassroots marketing tactics, going to community events, supporting charities, corporate sponsorships, business referral programs? Are you guys doing direct response flow, whether that be direct mail, email marketing, branding and sales scripts, right? Are you doing search engine optimization in social media, creating larger flow to your personal brand and to your business? That could be SEO. That could be consistent, relevant content creation. That could be online reviews, maybe on your Zillow, referral programs, cross media content use, whether that be on your website or social media, paid campaigns, paid keyword optimization, paid social media advertising. So those are just some things you can do to create more flow to your business, right? Now, how do you convert? Because that's another question that people want to know. And conversion is how you greet someone, right? So in the conversion cycle, do you have a documented sales process? Do you have scripts and handling calls and objections? If you don't, you got to learn how to greet people. Be jovial, be kind, be interactive, right? How do you qualify them? How do you qualify if this person's an actual, potential client as far on the buy side or on the sales side? You can do that by structuring a proposal, discovering buyer patterns, discovering why people want to buy, luxury mindset, as I touched on before. Are you creating a good proposal for your client, a good opportunity? Consistently making them interesting offers, negotiating process, creating a proposal based on them qualifying themselves. How do you close? Are you getting key decision makers involved? Are you creating urgency? Are you providing a written offer? Objections. How do you have processes in place for handling objections? Do you have objection training and role playing when people say, no, I'm not really ready to buy, right? We're getting that all the time. Follow up. That's where most people fail when it comes to conversion is follow up. Just because someone doesn't want to buy today doesn't mean they're never going to buy again. In fact, a no today means a yes tomorrow in my mind. So are you doing value added follow up? Are you taking them to coffee? Are you buying them lunch? Are you giving them a phone call and just say, hey, Lisa, thinking about you. Hope you're doing well. All those add to that conversion sales process. And then retention, right? How are you retaining your customers that you've done business for and with already? Database cultivation. Are you guys using KV Core or a CRM or your phone to create a good database of successful clients, right? How do you maintain your database? Are you doing an auditing process of your database? Is this information accurate, or do we have to get rid of some of these people? Is it consistent? Are you doing it every single week, every single month? What are your outreach? Are you guys doing a lot of outbound calls and just touching base and talking to people and saying, hey, I know your daughter had a birthday today. Just wanted to say hi. Where could I send her a stuffed animal? Something as simple as that, right? Do you have a dedication department? Do you have people that are reaching out to your people and saying, hey, you guys really are important to us. Hope you're having a great day. Happy anniversary, happy birthday, etc. And then, what is your reputation and your referral basis? What are some of your reviews, let's say on Zillow, etc.? Do you have a good customer referral program? Are you doing business to business referrals? Am I referring people to California? Or are they referring people to me or beyond? How's your online review program, right? So that's kind of the processes that I think will assist you in those three things. So those, if you guys want to go back and look at it, again, it's flow, conversion, retention. That will help you big time in your guys' businesses. So hopefully this is helping you guys. Type in the comments if it is. I know it's a fire hose of information, but I'm trying to give you as much as I can in this short amount of time. But let me get to some good content before we have to take off. Yeah, good. I'm glad this helps, Savannah. There's a couple different things that I think will help you guys when assessing people and how they fit into your life. It's called the R3 assessment. I don't know if you guys have heard of the R3 assessment, but the R3 assessment is the knowledge that empowers yourself to understand you, family members, team members, friends in a profound way, right? Understanding core energies help you become a better communicator. It minimizes or prevents conflicts. You appreciate the difference in others, and you positively influence those around you. In the course of your daily life, you're going to observe core energies in action because you interact with each energy differently every single day. And so if you know where people fall in these energy constructs, you'll know how to best communicate with them to not only get what you want, but make sure that the interaction is pleasant and successful, including clients, right? So Lisa has heard of this, I think, or if not, you should. It's the R3 assessment. And I want you to create a box, right? And create that box. There's 4 boxes within an initial box. And in the first left is what you call a driver. And here are the components that make up someone who is a driver. So I'm a driver. Haas Pratt is a driver. There's probably certain people in your construct, in your orbit, that are drivers. A driver is someone who is assertive, to the point, no bullshit, just bottom line. This is the information. They are forceful, direct, strong-willed. These people are drivers. So that's your top left of the quadrant, right? To the right of the driver is what you call an influencer, right? An influencer is someone that is a great communicator, who's friendly to everyone. They're outgoing, they're talkative, they're good with people. You know, an example of that is a Brian Culhane, you know, someone who is a good person, who's interactive, who understands how to influence people and get them energized, right? That's the top right. So you have driver, you have influencer. Underneath the driver in the bottom left part of your square is the analyzer. So do you have family members who are good listeners and great team players, right? They're steady, they're loyal, they're practical. They want to kind of, you know, steady Eddie. How many of you are like that, right? That's the stabilizer. That's someone who requires and loves validation. Someone that asks the question, what do you think? You know, do you think I did a good job, etc. That's a stabilizer, or that's an analyzer, and or that's a stabilizer. I apologize. So you have driver, you have influencer, and you have the stabilizer, right? They want security. They want someone who is an employee type based position, right? They're stable. And the last but not least, like Christy Culhane is a great example of an analyzer. Have you ever worked with someone who is factual, thorough, detail-oriented? They're precise, they're sensitive, they're analytical. Those people are analyzers, right? So when you go through these quadrants, you have 4. You have the driver, you have the influencer, you have the analyzer. When you have clients that ask, well, show me the numbers, I want to know the comps, those are analyzers, right? And then you have stabilizers, people that like security. They like that construct of I'm just a cog in the machine and I want the baseline taken care of, right? Each of these things in each of these 4 sectors have pros and they have cons, right? The good thing about drivers is they have a strong belief system. They believe in something strongly, they will drive to get it home. The good thing about influencers is they crave acceptance. They want to be accepted. They want to excel. The good thing about an analyzer is they crave validation. Is this a good idea? Well, yeah, it is a good idea. That's validation. The good thing about a stabilizer is they're secure. They're the rock. They're someone that's really just steady Eddie. But here are the issues with being all of these different quadrants. A driver has strong belief system. They believe, a lot in something, but they also can be intimidating. They can be overwhelming to some people. That's the rub. Influencers, they crave acceptance, and sometimes they can manipulate if they're not used their successes to the best ability. Analyzers can sometimes crave validation, but they also can withdraw. How many people that are more introverted, right? It's a tough business to be in sales if you're an introvert. You cannot withdraw from business in order to be successful in business. And the stabilizer sometimes worries about judgment. How are people viewing me, etc. So when you look at these 4 quadrants, maybe put yourself in this R3 assessment, see where you fall for better or for worse. And when you go out and you start interacting with different people, you might say to yourself, this is interesting. Now I know where to go for myself and beyond. So we got 8 minutes left. Also, I want to talk about, this is probably my most favorite thing I took from 10x 360 is called the individual contribution index. So again, there are 4 people or 4 different avatars in the individual contribution index. And the top left is the thinkers. So how many of you think you're a thinker, right? You think about everything that you do, you overanalyze it, right? They contribute, they're involved, they're influencers, they're intentional, they're self-disciplined, and they're accountable. They're thinkers, right? How many of you fall in that category? Put it in the comment section if that resonates with you. If that doesn't, the second quadrant are the doers, right? The doers are they're activity based, they're focused, they change, they're change makers, they talk less and do more. They're competitive, they're ambitious, and they're success oriented, right? Maybe that's you. Maybe you're a doer. That's you, Lisa. Okay, great. You're a doer. That's awesome. So you have the thinkers that think about it. They have great ideas. They love to implement. You have the doers that don't think. They just act. They kick ass, right? Now, underneath that subsector are the watchers. How many of you have dealt with clients or talked to people where I don't know if I want to buy a house right now. I don't know how the market is. I don't know. Maybe next year. They're watching, right? They're watching. They don't know what the hell to do, so they do nothing. Those are called watchers. They contemplate. They're slow to move. They have low intensity. Their energy is sporadic at best. They're complacent. They stick to the status quo. Sometimes they're lazy, and sometimes they blame others for their issues. That's a watcher, right? Someone that's on the sidelines, maybe being condescending or putting down the thinkers or the doers. And last but not least, there's a lot of people that fall into this last subcategory, and I don't think any of you on here are this type of person because you wouldn't be spending the time with me today if you were, and that's the drainers, okay? The drainers, it's pretty self-explanatory, are people that are combative, they're negative, they're disinterested, they're unfocused, they're manipulative, they're fear-based, they're self-oriented, they're demanding, they're controlling, they're unintentional, and they make a lot of excuses, okay? So when you meet someone, one of the things that really stuck with me after 10x 360 is everyone on planet Earth fall into these sub 4 categories. Are you a thinker? Are you a doer? Are you a watcher? And are you a drainer? And if you think of all those 4 categories with every person you meet and every person that you take information from, your life will be far more successful because you're not wasting time with 2 categories. Brandon Dawson came in and said, okay, who's a thinker? Who's a doer? Who's a watcher, right? Who's the drainers? And some people raise their hand. And basically what he says, the only people that you want to associate with, to spend time with, to draw information from are 2 constructs, thinkers and doers. Watchers and drainers, they're gone. Eradicate them from your life. You don't need them. And that really becomes difficult because how many of us have friends from high school or college or from our childhood? How many of us have family members that are watchers and drainers? And you're like, oh God, I got to go to Thanksgiving with Aunt Betty and, Uncle Joe. And you're thinking to yourself, I have constructs of these people that are influencing my life, maybe more than they should, and they're a drainer and they're a watcher. And all they do is put down the thoughts and the actions that I spend all my time with and the people I spend it with. So the biggest takeaway I want you to have from today is everybody you meet, are they a thinker? Are they a doer? Are they a watcher? Or are they a drainer? And if they're a watcher and they're a drainer, do your best to eradicate them from your life completely. Completely. I mean, you can talk to Uncle Joe at Thanksgiving and Aunt Betty, at Christmas or whatever, but do not let their small thinking contradict what you're trying to achieve in your business and in your life. So that I hope helps you. If you guys have any questions, we have a couple minutes. Joe, Savannah, Lisa, is there anything that I can help you with before we end the call? But hopefully this helped you. I know this information was like, you know, going out of a fire hose, but I just wanted to get it to you in an hour so you guys could rewatch this and go back to it if it helped. Any questions or any concerns or anything that I can help you with in making sure that your guys' business and your personal life go to the next level in the coming year? Well, I'm glad this helps, Savannah. And again, if you guys have specific questions that you want to ask, feel free to DM me on Instagram. Just at Michael Banovac. Great. Well, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Savannah. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, guys. And hopefully, if you guys see each other in the comment section, how can we analyze our own type? Savannah, are you talking about thinkers, doers, watchers, or drainers, or what construct are you talking about? Or are you talking about the R3 assessment? Oh, how do you analyze the R3 assessment, or how do you analyze the thinkers, doers, drainers, and watchers? Yeah. Both. Okay. Well, the best way to do it is you can go on Google and look up R3 assessment and then type in driver, influencer, analyzer, and stabilizer. And I think there are tests on there to actually help you and your team figure out which one you are. So I would do that first. And as far as the individual contribution index, the best thing to do is go back and look at what do thinkers, doers, watchers, and drainers, and what are their attributes, right? We talked about that for 4 or 5 minutes earlier on in this video. But the thinkers are strong thinkers. The doers are actually your doers. The watchers are your clients that are saying, I don't know if it's a good time to buy. Let me think about it in 2023. And the drainers are the negative Nellies. They're pretty self-explanatory. You can't do this. You shouldn't do that. You're going to fail. That stuff's just poison. You guys are all success-minded. You wouldn't be on this call if you weren't. You know, my intent is to make you guys all millionaires and beyond. If you're not, any way I can help, I'd love to do so. And yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful week. And we'll talk to you next Wednesday. So have a great week. And guys, if you have any questions, again, DM me personally at Michael Banovac on Instagram. Hope you guys have a wonderful week and take care. Bye-bye.